kind of joke sometimes that now is a great time to do some scouting from the combine, but it truly is.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Michaela Jordan, reporting from Cedar Rapids, and joined today by Evan Brame, conservation agronomist with the Iowa Soybean Association's Research Center for Farming Innovation, and we're talking about what farmers should be looking for as they head to the field this fall. Evan, as combines start to get rolling, what should farmers be monitoring or scouting for as they head out to the field?
Yeah, this is just really a wonderful time of year, and it's an opportunity for farmers to reap the benefits that they've been working hard for all year. And you know, I kind of joke sometimes, I said now's a great time to do some scouting from the combine, but it truly is. If you see some disease pressure that was out there, you know, make note of that field, maybe make note of that variety, or maybe it was a skip, maybe it was on purpose for a trial. Also, in our area, we have corn rootworm, and that is a serious problem. That corn tends to lodge, tends to fall over. You know, make note of that, make note of those fields. I've had several calls, and farmers, you know, they do look across the fence at their neighbor and they say, I know what my neighbor is doing, I know what I'm doing, why is my corn displaying this? And we can compare apples to apples. So, you know, a lot of those observational things that farmers can make from the combine are very important. We do have an issue with herbicide resistance in the state of Iowa. You know, it's more easy to see in our soybean fields because soybeans do grow smaller, shorter stature than what corn is, but also make note of that. So I encourage farmers to see if there were some weed escapes, to note where that was in the field. You know, this could be, you know, an opportunity to, in the future, look at different herbicide programs, or maybe add something to your current program, something that will suppress those weeds, such as cover crops. We have a southern corn rust that has moved in, and it's an interesting fungal disease. I've noticed this in areas where farmers have not applied fungicide. This disease has really broken out, so I do believe that fungicide is a good option for farmers, whether, you know, you're conservation minded or not. I think that this does pay for Iowa farmers to not only protect our plants, but also improve yields.
Any advice on how farmers can get a jump start on the 2026 growing season while they're in the combine this fall?
You know, this time of year, farmers have probably already made their decisions on their seed, so I understand that. You know, it seems like you haven't even taken the crop out, but you still need to make those decisions. But something I really encourage farmers to think about, you know, as crops are coming out, getting ahead of schedule, is soil grid sampling. And I think soil grid sampling is a fantastic opportunity for farmers to not only see the nutrients in their field, what their levels are, but maybe they can identify those areas where, you know, maybe they do need some more dry fertilizer. And, you know, you can see that from the combine yourself. From a profitability perspective, environmental perspective, it just makes sense. You're fine-tuning your nitrogen, your phosphorus, your potash, your micronutrient program all in one.
Conservation is kind of your bread and butter, Evan. As farmers head to the combine this fall, there's probably some planning they could do on the conservation side of things too if they're interested in implementing some practices. What could they do now to get that ball rolling?
Working in the conservation network, we get a lot of phone calls on cost share programs, and we at ISA like to work closely with our local NRCS offices and FSA at the government agencies of the USDA, and we're in constant contact with them and finding out what programs are available to farmers. At ISA, we want to help farmers navigate those cost share programs. And also, I would, you know, take note of others that are doing these conservation practices. There's a reason why cover crops specifically have improved to almost 4 million acres in the entire state. And you know, that's a huge increase. If we look back to 2009, we were less than 10,000 acres. And so there's a reason why these cover crops are taking hold, and I think a lot of that is cost share programs, but also these farmers are making these cover crops work from an input perspective of offsetting it with cost share, but also seeing the infield advantages that we talk about weed suppression with herbicide, and farmers have the opportunity to manage those troublesome weeds with competition of cover crops, but also being able to manage those properly, and so the cover crops aren't competition with our corn and soybean acres either.
If a farmer is interested in getting in contact with you or another member of the Research Center for Farming Innovation team, where can they go for more information?
You can go to iasoybeans.com, click on the team tab, and you can find a conservation agronomist or research agronomist that is near you. We do care about our Iowa farmers. We offer our services, we offer contact information for getting cost share, but we also do some great work as far as trial work goes.
As you head to the field this fall with your combine, be on the lookout for weeds, diseases, and pests that could be hindering your productivity and profitability. As you prepare for the 2026 season, the Research Center for Farming Innovation, including Evan, is here to help ensure that the challenges that you're facing have solutions. On behalf of the Iowa Soybean Association, we wish you a safe and productive harvest season. Reporting for this edition of the State of Soy, I'm Michaela Jordan.
Progress is a human invention. We look at our world and we imagine how to make it better. That's the power of human ingenuity. We can redefine what's possible. At Bayer, we're shaping the future of agriculture. Like farms where all life grows together. It's not impossible, it's progress.